you a look inside of our Navigate Your Writing Roadmap program. So I'm going to be sharing my screen with you, which is why my video is small down here. Let's see if I can make it a little bigger. Okay. Sharing my screen with you so that you can see really like what is inside of this program. And I'm going to explain the curriculum to you and how the meetings work. And to give you an overview, the Navigate program is meant for scholars with a disruptive perspective on their field to write and publish to the level that they know is possible. Okay, so we're looking for people who are sitting on a stack of almost done articles or have a ton of data that is maybe analyzed but not written up. But we are looking for people who are professors, okay, and who are excited about, getting back into their writing after having maybe been distracted and pulled and with all the demands of the wonderful, work that you do. So today I'm going to start off with taking a look at the Navigate framework. So this is the framework for the curriculum. This is what we base the Navigate program on. And we have been delivering the Navigate program since 2017. It's gone through two major revisions, the second one being in February of 2023. And so as we enter this cohort, it has been delivered in this way in the revised version several times. And we really love this 12-week version that incorporates coaching. I'm going to explain exactly how the coaching works and how everything works. But let's start with the framework. So you'll see here that we have in the middle three main areas that the curriculum covers or that we cover in the program. The first is pipeline and project management. And that means, looking at creating your publication pipeline and understanding writing project management at a deeper level than you've ever understood it before. And I'm going to show you exactly in the curriculum, like how many lessons are about each of these things. But basically what we do is there are several recorded lessons. The recorded lessons release it for the upcoming cohort. They release on Monday, and then our live call is on Friday. And we hope that you are, that you see the recorded lesson before the live call. But if you don't, we just want you to come to the live call and get coached or participate in co-writing. So we start with pipeline and project management because we're starting with this like big picture look at what is the state of your writing and publishing. And then we drill down during the program. So then we move on to mission and alignment. We write your academic mission statement and we align your time and align your pipeline with that mission. And so the mission and alignment part is kind of like a process of culling away what is no longer serving you, what is off mission for you, so that you can find that time to write that you are so desperately wanting. And then finally, we really work on fine-tuning the writing practice. We teach you our soaring system, which is our kind of multi-level system for creating a resilient writing practice. And all of this, you'll see, is wrapped in a blanket of beliefs and mindset. And that is something that we work on throughout the program and why coaching is particularly important. This outer layer of the diagram, these kind of arrows going around and around, represent the fact that this is not a program that you are going to go from I'm unaware that I need to do these things, or even that I'm aware that I need to do these things, to a level to mastery level in just 12 weeks. Okay, that's not what's going to happen. Instead, we think that you're going to move on in your levels of mastery, but not necessarily, become a master of all of the pieces of the curriculum in just 12 weeks, but you will be introduced to everything. And then you can decide whether it's right for you to enroll in another round at a different price than the original entry price point, which is $4,500 or 3 payments of $1,600. And so, what I mean by levels of mastery is that basically when you come into the program, so during our application process, you're going to take an assessment that takes our curriculum, kind of breaks it down into about 24 questions or statements, and you're going to tell us what you self-report your level of mastery around that thing. So, for example, I think one of the statements is like, I have my pipeline mapped out and hanging somewhere where I can see it. And you will say, okay, wait, I wasn't aware that that was something I needed to do, or I'm aware that's something I need to do, but I'm not doing it. I'm learning how to do this, but I'm not doing it consistently yet. I'm in the integration phase. So I do this, it's integrated into my practices. Or the mastery phase, I've made this skill or this thing or this belief my own. So as you come into the program, we assess you on, or you self-assess on the levels of mastery. And what we find with most applicants is that we have people who are have a mix of like, unaware, aware learning with a little bit of integration peppered in there. And that helps us to see like, okay, here's a snapshot of where this person is right now. And what you can expect when you join our program is that by moving through our curriculum, you are going to increase your level of mastery around around the areas where you're really focusing on in the curriculum. And that's why we have an onboarding or a pre-enrollment call with everyone who joins. Is we want to be clear on like, okay, here's where you are right now. We want to set your expectations that this is where we think you can go in 12 weeks. And if you want to continue to work with us on increasing your levels of mastery, then you can do another round of Navigate, another round. We think it will take about, if you really want to go from unaware to mastery, it will take at least 3 rounds of Navigate to do that. But also that's with our support, right? And you go faster with coaching support. But if you want to do it on your own, then after your 12 weeks, you get to keep access to the modules and you can keep working through them. So, on your own without the support of the community and the coach. But for our program, so again, this is our framework. We have pipeline project management, mission and alignment, writing practice, all wrapped up in beliefs and mindset. So I'm going to click over here to show you the actual curriculum for our program. You might not be able to see it that well because it's pretty small. Let me just see if real quick I can zoom in a little better. Thank you for your patience. Okay, there we go. That's better. Now maybe you can see that better. So we start out, the first week of the 12-week program starts out with, a welcome message and all kind of the orientation materials. That's what happens. Like when you enroll, you'll get this before the first week. And then in this cohort that's coming up, which is the cohort that starts on August 14th, then this week 1 will drop or release inside of our teachable learning management system. And we release content every week. You don't get all of it all at once. We're helping you to pace through and to go week by week through the material. So on week 1, it's really an orientation and kickoff week. We have a live kickoff meeting that we record that you can watch later if you have to miss it. We give you a tour of the learning management system. You do, in this version, you did now we do the pre-assessment on your way into the program, but there's also like a demographic survey that we want you to do as you're entering the program, and you can download your workbook. Then we keep going through the 12 weeks, and you'll see that we have our pipeline lesson, we have our project planning lesson, and we have the kind of thing that makes brings those two things together, which is creating the 1-year writing roadmap. Now, a lot of times people are worried. They're like, well, I don't have a lot of time. So should I take Navigate? Because how much time is it going to take me? Well, first of all, if what you're trying to do is write and publish, you're going to need time to do that. So the process of taking the program helps you to carve that time out where you've maybe been unsuccessful at carving that time out previously. So that's an important point to make. But you can also see here that like the lessons are between, 20 and 30, 35 minutes long. And then each week as well, we are working on what we call your low hanging fruit project. And you'll see that every single week there's a main lesson and then there's kind of a short little lesson on the low hanging fruit. What's your low hanging fruit project? Well, when you submit your application, we ask you if you have some almost done articles, and we ask you to actually put a name on one, because just right from the application process, we want you thinking about like, what's that project that I'm going to move all the way to submit, that I'm going to submit at the end of 12 weeks. And what these mini lessons are doing is they are helping you go to that process of submission. So we start out with choosing the low-hanging fruit project. We give you like, a little decision-making exercise there. Once you've chosen it, basically, also please note, every low-hanging fruit lesson is directly related to the lesson of the week. So we talk all about pipeline, and then on that same day or that same week, we're asking you to choose your low-hanging fruit because those two lessons are related to each other. So here in Project Prediction Plan, where you're learning how to create your writing project management skills, you're improving those skills, you are creating a task list, which is one of the skills that you work on for the low-hanging fruit project. So everything is directly applied, like the lessons of the week are directly applied to the low-hanging fruit project, so that by the end of the project, you are submitting the article. Now, this bit here, so weeks basically 1 through 4, are the pipeline and project management weeks. And what else do I want to say about this? Okay, so I think I'll say that you'll notice that in the first week, we have the kickoff meeting. And then every week, and this cohort coming up, the one that starts August 14th, 2023. The call is at Friday, 11 o'clock Eastern. So, and it alternates between a coaching call, a group coaching call, and a co-writing session. So for the coaching calls, we don't record them, but we do put the lesson plan for the call here so that you can work on that as a journaling exercise yourself if you can't make it live to the call. We really encourage you to try to make it live to the call, but sometimes you can't, and that's fine. You'll still have the material here. So, for example, on the pipeline week, there's a coaching call. We're going to talk about pipeline. The next week on Friday at 11, or whatever your weekly co-time is, if you're watching this in the future, then you're going to have a co-writing session. Same time, same link, same coach. You get on the co-writing session and everybody kind of says their goal for what they're working on during the co-writing session, and then we mute and get to work. The coach is there in the room with you. Right now, it's either me or Gina, and if you have a question or a problem or an obstacle, you can just direct message the coach there in the Zoom chat and ask to do like a little breakout room. And the coach can take you into a breakout room, and then you can do what we call kind of spot coaching or laser coaching, which is like a short, like less than 5 minutes. Let me just coach you over this obstacle or coach you through this question. And that's a really great way to get one-on-one support during this program, and that happens during the co-writing sessions. So what else? I mean, pretty much the curriculum moves forward, right? With mission and alignment, and then with the soaring system. And you'll see as you go through, the low-hanging fruit lessons are marked with a little mango, and we help you move through. We're continuing to move through getting that low-hanging fruit project to submission. We do a series of self-checks. We do kind of like a checklist, a submission checklist. We just, are doing those things that maybe so far you haven't been able to do yourself to get that low hanging fruit article submitted. And then you'll see in the very last week that we submit and celebrate. So I hope that this gives you a little bit of an insight into what we do in our program. Again, the time commitment, which is something that people often are a little bit worried about, is 12 weeks, 1 hour a week for the live call, and maybe half an hour, 45 minutes for the for consuming the lesson, which you can do in your own time. We give you all of these lessons that you see recorded here also as a private podcast, so you can listen to them on a commute. You don't have to necessarily sit at your computer and watch a video lesson. You also could, or you can also reinforce, right, by listening to the private podcast. There was one last thing I wanted to say, and I'm trying to remember what it is. And I feel like it had to do with the end. Oh, and then at the end of the program, we are going to be, I know, there's a kind of like a portfolio almost. And we ask you about your there's 4 major kind of handouts or things that you create during the program. And we call that kind of your Navigate portfolio. And that is something that's part of your workbook so that you have a tangible, here's what I completed during the Navigate program, even above and beyond submitting that article that's been sitting around for so long. So this curriculum covers this the framework that we have developed that is going to help you unclog your publication pipeline and publish at the level that you know is possible. The curriculum is going to take you, going to move you along through the levels of mastery. Maybe on some things you will have been unaware and you move to aware or learning. Maybe in other things you have already been learning them and now you move them to the integration or mastery level. But basically, as you move through the program, you're going to increase your level of mastery through about these skills and mindsets and ways of being that are going to help you to write and publish and really, through doing that, take control of your career and create the career that you want for yourself. At the end of the program, we do the assessment again, the benchmark assessment again, where you tell us your levels of mastery on all of these things. And we have, right now for this round, I have a personal call with you at the end of your program to talk about your progress through the program and what the best next steps are for you. So you do also get that one-on-one call with me when you enroll in the program and also as you are finishing your 12-week round 1. And we'll talk about whether you whether we both think it's best for you to do another round and what that would look like. And no, you don't pay the same fee for the second round. It's a much reduced fee to stay in the program and continue to do rounds than it is for the first round of the program. So that's it. That's a look inside our Navigate program. I hope that you enjoyed seeing this and that it answered your questions. We need to get your application in. So the application process takes a little while because there's an application and then you're going to do the pre-assessment and have your pre-enrollment call with me. So that needs to get scheduled and spaces are filling up. So please submit your application today by going to scholarsvoice.org/navigate, finding the pink button that says application. Also, just a quick note, again, the program price is $4,500 US. And you can choose to pay 3 payments of $1,600 US if you don't want to pay in full. So that is the requirement for the program. And we are really looking forward to talking to you. The cohort is shaping up beautifully, and I can't wait to invite you in. All right. Have a great day. Bye.